It's like Call of Duty found an identity and doesn't like its own identity that it made, that it forged from the fires. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, it's Elliot. Welcome back to another take here with Esports with Rod. As of recording this, Modern Warfare 2 beta, or at least the weekend one, is wrapping up. And before we go any further in the video, I want to know your initial thoughts and everything impressions down below. And in this video, I want to go over my personal pros, cons, of what I'm indifferent with. And if you've seen JGod, if you've seen Nick Merckx, all the big streamers, they have their own take. But I feel like I'm more of a casual player, even though I do stream and create content. As a player, I feel like I'm more casual. So my perspective is going to be from the casual side that Infinity Ward is trying to appeal to. So right off the rip, the game looks great. We all know Infinity Ward games are amazing. They look good. Modern Warfare 2019 looked good, so its sequel has to look just as good, if not better, and I think that they achieved that. The overall aesthetic looks good. The revamping of a gunsmith, I actually really like. I was a little skeptical because I was confused, probably like the majority of you, when they were putting out the original content of like breaking down the gunsmith. I was like, what am I watching? But now that I've watched guys like T, Apathy, Repulse, DS Biffle, after I've watched all the content creators play around and mess around with the gunsmith, I really kind of like it. And I think it's going to be a huge W. And I think the grind will still be real. It's just going to be more manageable and honestly more enjoyable. And from a casual experience, having one gun that kind of converts into a whole lot of different guns, just for me, it allows me to think that I can personalize my gun even more so. And I assure you, with my age, playing the original Call of Duty, Blackout 2, all of that, I don't miss slide canceling, not even a little bit. However, if you're going to take out slide canceling, you got to add some other kind of movement in there and stop placating to the campers. As of right now, I feel kind of lied to, because this guy who's like the face of Infinity Ward said that their thing is about fun. And I think a lot of the things that they're saying go against the actual term of fun. Because as of right now, the only playstyle that seems to dominate is the camper's playstyle. If you find a room and you just stick to the room, you never leave it, you're going to have double-digit kills, single-digit deaths, and your POV is going to be boring. And I think it's because of these few things. I think the overall movement is too slow in the game. Like boots on the ground, we're like, this is a video game with super soldiers, and I understand it's like soldiers, but these guys are the baddest of the bad. These guys are running like high school athletes. Speed it up, man. The strafe speed, the sprint to fire speed, it just needs to be much faster. Because as of right now, if someone's just sitting in a corner and pre-aiming it, there's no way that you're going to be able to strafe, shoot at him, and come back in before you die. The TTK is just way too fast. And I'm not even mad at the TTK. I just think there has to be other ways to kind of maneuver around that. I made a TikTok earlier today about the visual recoil of the guns and how just crazy it is. And lastly, the visual recoil on the guns. I don't mind if guns that actually have recoil and take skill to use, but the physical recoil when you're shooting the gun and the whole thing is shaking like this when you're trying to shoot and you can't see what you're shooting at, it's not okay and it's not very fun. If you guys didn't know, I'm on TikTok, Esports with Rod. Go ahead and go follow me there. But the visual recoil on the guns, as well as when you get hit, it seems like everything on your screen is blurred. So it's even less of an option to have a gunfight because you can't actually see where to shoot back. And then if you are seeing, the muzzle flash and the recoil of the gun itself is shaking so much, you can't even see accurately where you're looking at. It's just very odd. Once more, this is coming from a casual person. Please bring back the classic minimap. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And if anything, it gives more power to the perks of Ghost and things like that. It feels like you guys made a decision on the minimap and you guys know you're wrong on it, but you don't want to admit you're wrong. And the last thing that Call of Duty has moved away from for a long time now, so I doubt it'll come back, but it would be a huge W to bring back, and that is stop dispatching lobbies after every single game. There's no story, there's no socialness to it, there's no connection to that. And it's how many relationships were formed in the gaming community as a whole. It's like Call of Duty stripped that away, as well as many other games. Call of Duty is not the only one at fault of this. Right now, as I said, everything feels off balance in this game because the only thing powerful in this game is not the run and gun, it's not the dolphin dive, it's not being cracked out, it's actually the quite opposite. It's being the turtle who sits in the room and just does little headies all day and waits for people to come in and just feeds kills. We need higher strafe speed, we need a faster guns. I'm okay with the guns actually having recoil. I think that's a skill. I can use my thumbs and pull down on my joystick. I'm sure you can too. But not being able to see where you're shooting because your gun is just shaking all over the place is not okay. The good thing is I think the game is great, and all these things are just kind of fine-tuned adjustments that the developers have to go back in. I don't think this is anything that they have to go back in and completely rework. And I want to be hesitant on my criticism because I know that they're still holding cards tight to their chest. This is just the beta after all. We're getting so much content at launch with a new third-person mode, this big team battle, Battlefield-esque kind of mode, which is a returning mode with Ground War, but it just looks a lot better. I don't know, I just feel really good about this game moving forward because it's going to be a 2-year lifespan. And if Infinity Ward doesn't listen to the community during this, then it's doomed. It's all doomed. And Infinity Ward's track record in the past hasn't been the best, but it's only been year cycles. Now it's a 2-year cycle, and I feel like they know, we know, that they know, that we know, that they know that they have to listen to the community. Because if they don't, and they don't make the adjustments to keep the player pool, Halo's Battle Royale is coming out next year. Fortnite is still crushing it. Like, I don't understand why everyone doesn't look at Fortnite and Apex and be like, huh, these guys are pretty consistent on crushing it. Maybe we could learn a thing or two. Because the things I'm a little bit indifferent about is Warzone 2 and that DMZ mode as a whole. I felt like Warzone 2 is built around DMZ, which is this Tarkov competitor for Call of Duty. Which, I'll put it out there, I'm super excited to play and get my hands on, but I don't want it to be built at the detriment of Warzone 2, which I believe is a direct quote from JGod.
In this mode is just unnecessary. I understand they want to do this thing with the strongholds and gas up, but I feel like that's a DMZ thing entirely because they do scavs and all those things in Tarkov, and I get that. It makes sense for DMZ and the looting and the but for Battle Royale, I think it makes zero sense, and you are adding something to the game that is for another mode that will probably be amazing, right? But it's at the detriment of your core game mode. And they did this before. They did it with multiplayer. They made everything perfect. Say loosely, but they made everything designed for the Battle Royale at the detriment of their multiplayer. And the multiplayer suffered heavily by having the worst multiplayer experiences year after year after year, but it was okay because Warzone was fine. And I think that is a horrible way to go down because you're kind of like just throwing everything away and banking on one mode instead of trying to make them all great. And I think they seem super hyped about DMZ and they're super secretive about it, but if that ruins Warzone, like, and not enough people care about DMZ, you're kind of screwed, right?
In 2019, when Call of Duty dropped Warzone, it brought back and revitalized the Call of Duty community. Whether you want to like that or not, it's a fact. And it feels like they built a formula and all the quality of life changes that they've made to get up to this point. It feels like we're going backwards with Warzone 2. It feels like if Warzone and Blackout had a baby. And I'm indifferent about this because I like how that sounds. Me as a person, I really like Blackout. I think if you put the quality of life changes on the Blackout map, Blackout would be the best battle royale that's ever been made in existence. I stand by that. But why I'm hesitant on it is that seems like that's such an easy layup that the developers are going to hold their nose to it and they feel like they have to do something more, something innovative. Or at least in their eyes. And to the community's eyes, it's like, no, you're messing with what's making it pure. It's like Call of Duty found an identity and doesn't like its own identity that it made, that it forged from the fires of being in a war zone. And that's where we're going to wrap up the video. Please let me know down below, where do you agree with me? Where do you disagree with me? Did I miss anything that they could change? All the things I'm trying to say are things that I feel like are fine-tuned and could actually be adjusted maybe even before the launch of the game or during the first season update. But I don't know. I'm not a developer. Thank you for watching one of my daily dives into the gaming and esports scene. If you want 7 years of good luck and a picture of a cute dog, make sure to like this video, smash the subscribe button so hard that the little notification bell gets turned on, and share this with a friend who loves gaming and esports as much as we do. Thank you for doing so. Here's a picture of my cute dog, Annie the Labradoodle. Goes literally everywhere with me. If you want to play games with me, follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/esports with Elrod. I stream most days around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so let's plan it out either on Discord or Twitter. Links down below. With that being said, that's where we're going to wrap up the video for today. Make somebody laugh today. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.